All UAH students are required to take a set of courses called Charger Foundations. Charger Foundations include college writing, math and science courses, and courses from the humanities and social sciences. In this video, we will focus on the humanities and social sciences requirements of the Charger Foundations. You may have already watched the video called Engineering, a Snapshot of Year 1. In that video, we presented the typical courses engineering students will take their first 2 semesters. We refer to those first 2 semesters as base camp. It's where everyone gets started. During the first year, most new students will take courses that fall under the acronyms HFA, Humanities and Fine Arts, and HSBS, History, Social, and Behavioral Sciences. Students must complete 18 hours or 6 courses to satisfy the HFA and HSBS requirements. There are 3 classes or 9 hours that fall under the HFA heading, and 3 classes or 9 hours that fall under the HSBS heading. There are very specific requirements for these courses as specified by the university and our accrediting agency. So it's important to understand the requirements when you consider your options. I also encourage you to not discount these courses. You will learn a great deal about critical thinking and communication, both written and oral. You might try getting out of your comfort zone a bit as well and take something that you've never tried before. This table shows all the requirements for the HFA and HSBS courses. We know it's a lot to take in at once. Let's break it down. So here's that big picture again. Remember that you need 3 courses under the HFA and HSBS headings. I like to think of them as buckets that we need to fill. Let's look at the history requirement, HSBS number 1. Everyone must take a history course. You can take World History, HY 103 or 104, or US History, HY 221 and HY 222. One course is not a prerequisite for the other, so it doesn't matter if you take history on the earlier or later periods. Please note that U.S. history requires sophomore standing, so if you want to take U.S. history, you will probably need to wait until at least year 2. So one HSBS requirement is now in the bucket. Let's look at social and behavioral science requirement, HSBS number 2. Everyone must take a course that falls under a social or behavioral science. There are a variety of courses from economics, geography, global systems, political science, psychology, and sociology to choose from. So another HSBS requirement into the bucket. So now 2 courses are in the HSBS bucket. Now it's time to focus on the HFA bucket. Everyone must take a literature course, HFA number 1. There are a few options that focus on different genres of writing, as well as earlier and more current time periods. Students must complete their college writing requirements before taking a literature course. Thus, we encourage most students to wait on their literature courses until they are at least sophomores. So 1 course into the HFA bucket. Everyone must also take a fine art course, HFA number 2. There are several options below, including music, art history, history of drawing, and theater. Your fine arts class must come from this list. So another course into the HFA bucket. So now we have 2 courses in each bucket. The final 2 courses will depend on your sequence choice. The sequence must be in either history or literature. So if you choose history for your sequence, you will take either the world history or the U.S. history pair. So whichever course you choose as your history requirement for HSBS number 1, you will take the other course in the pair, which will count as HSBS number 3. So now your HSBS bucket is full with 3 courses. Now you will need a third HFA course, or HFA number 3. There are several options, including another course from the literature or fine arts list, as well as public speaking, which I personally recommend, philosophy, women's studies, a foreign language, or international cinema. So now you have 3 courses in the HFA bucket. And you're done. You will ignore the crossed out section because you chose history as your sequence. So if you choose literature for your sequence, you will take either of the literature pairs. So whichever course you chose as your literature requirement for HFA number 1, you will take the other course in the pair, which will count as HFA number 3. So now your HFA bucket is full with 3 courses. Now you will need a third HSBS course, or HSBS number 3. There are several options, including another course from the history or the social behavioral science lists. So now you have 3 courses in the HSBS bucket, and you're done. You'll ignore the crossed out part because you chose literature as your sequence. Students may earn credit towards the HFA or HSBS requirements through AP or dual enrollment credit. You are encouraged to check the AP IB guide on the Engineering Admitted Students website. You can check the description of this video for a direct link. You may also earn credit through college courses taken as part of a dual enrollment program. Please check with an engineering advisor to determine how your credit may be applied to your requirements. Honors College students should take honors sections of HFA and HSBS courses as appropriate to satisfy their honors hours requirements. It is important to note that students do not have to take particular HFA or HSBS courses at any time or in any order. The curriculum guide on the Admitted Students webpage gives suggestions for when these courses might be taken throughout your time at UAH. The only time requirement is that you must complete the HFA and HSBS courses by the semester you plan to graduate. I scored a 5 on both the AP World History and American History exams. My transcript shows I have credit for HY 103, HY 104, HY 221, and HY 222. Am I finished with my HSBS requirements? No. Even though you have credit for 4 HSBS classes, the Charger Foundations require 1 non-history course, a social or behavioral science course. You will need to take 1 more course under that HSBS heading. I scored a 3 on both the AP World History and American History exams. My transcript shows I have credit for HY 103 and HY 221. Am I finished with my history and sequence requirements? No. Even though you have 2 history courses that will satisfy HSBS number 1 and number 3, they do not satisfy the sequence requirement. The best option would be to choose literature as your sequence. I will be playing clarinet in the UAH Jazz Ensemble and will be taking MUX courses. Can I use one of those for my fine art requirements? No. The fine arts requirement must be satisfied by a pure art survey course. It cannot be a performance or skills class. And that's actually true for all HFA classes. Can I take HFA or HSBS classes as pass-fail? No. Charger Foundations courses require letter grading. Can I take any of these classes during the summer at an institution near where I live? Yes, you can take HFA and HSBS courses at both 2-year and 4-year institutions. You will need a letter of good standing that ensures the courses will transfer to UAH. You should also check with an advisor for approved courses. All 2-year and 4-year institutions must be accredited regionally in order to be accepted. I'm going to take the AP American History exam. A history course is suggested for my fall semester. What should I do until I receive my score? You can register for a different HFA or HSBS requirement until you know your score. I want to take Theater Appreciation, CM 122, to satisfy my fine arts requirement. All the sections are full. Will more seats or sections become available? It's possible, but we would strongly encourage you to have a plan B and register for that other course while you are waiting. If you get into CM 122, you can drop the plan B course later. Here are some final thoughts. We cannot advise you on your HFA and HSBS requirements unless we have your most current scores and credit. Please send your test scores and transcripts to UAH. You can also send screenshots of your scores and transcripts to the advisors, and they can adjust your course recommendations. However, you must get those scores to UAH for official updates of your transcripts. If you still have questions or concerns about HFA and HSBS requirements, email the engineering advisors at engineering@uah.edu.